Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are live. Welcome to another Saturday night and another Masterpiece Shit Piece Theater. What's up, guys? I'm Nick with Sam and Russ. How y'all's week been, man?
What's up, everybody?
What's up, guys?
Man,
wow,
so
well, crazy. Go ahead, Sam. You do your thing.
Always, so at our house, Eli, he figured out how to use the Apple TV remote. So he's been, buzzing around between. He's 5. He should
Thank
know.
you, Wolfie.
Hello, Wolfie.
What's up, Wolf?
So he's goes between Disney Plus, Apple TV, whatever we have on Amazon Prime. He watches a lot of movies with The Rock in it, right? And I was just kind of curious, man. He's watching like Journey to the Mysterious Island, easily forgettable movie. I said, Eli, who's that guy? And he goes, that's Rock. And he said, that's Rock. And he said, this is Rock 2. Talking about that movie, Journey to the Mysterious Island.
Yeah.
And then he said, and then after this, we'll watch Rock 1. I said, Rock 1? What are you talking about? What's Rock 1? And he turns on the movie Rampage from 2014. And he said, this is Rock 1. And then he said Rock 3 a couple days later was Jungle Cruise. So Eli watches all these movies with The Rock that are kind of the same. Like he wears, just various degrees of like tan button downs and sweaty t-shirts, and he doesn't realize that they're like he thinks like it's a franchise.
But what's funny about that? That's very telling, actually. It really is. It's very telling because think about it. He's coming to it with no knowledge of
nothing.
Right?
He somehow knows who The Rock is, though. I don't know how he knows that.
But The Rock always plays the same character in every movie.
Yeah.
So it's easy. You could easily think this is a sequel to a movie. I did the other movie I just saw the other day.
You too, Ralphie, if I didn't say it.
Yeah, he's dressed the same.
Awesome.
He's always sweaty. They're always like in the jungle, and
love it.
And like
How
to him in his little childlike mind, he's like, "This is the Rock's franchise." And
I love that he has his own headcanon for this. This is awesome. But like, I want to see when you introduce him to Scorpion King in Doom, how he squares that up.
Yeah, that's what my buddy or that's what my brother said. And we've never seen the Scorpion. I've seen it. I haven't shown them yet, but we've watched The Mummy Returns, and he's in the beginning of it. I don't know if he's ever realized that that's The Rock. I might show him that tomorrow and see what he thinks about it. I'm like, bro, it's The Rock. This is Rock 4.
This is Rock -1.
this is a prequel. I don't know if I've ever even seen Scorpion King actually all the way through.
It's one of the movies where it's him running around without a fucking shirt on, flexing.
Michael Caine is in Journey to the Mysterious Island, and I said we were watching it, me and Jackie were in the kitchen, and I said look at Michael Caine just out here collecting a check. You know what I mean? Like he must like had recently bought a house or something. And was like, all right, I'll do this movie. Man, Did
he pass?
Michael Caine?
Yeah.
No, I think he's still alive.
Fucking knock on wood, dude.
Alive.
Watch out
tomorrow. He is still alive. Okay.
Yeah, I watched Dirty Rotten Scoundrels the other day, man. It's one of my favorite movies.
He's got a medieval period piece coming out, and he does not look good, man.
Michael Caine.
I was worried for him.
Yeah, I guess the last thing I really saw him in was Interstellar. No, Tenet. He was in Tenet too. And yeah, he's
in Tenet, yeah.
There's a difference between him and Tenet. Even he's in there for a couple minutes, and even him in like the Dark Knight stuff. Like he got he's on that decline, and he's still doing good work. He's never bad at anything. Never has been. That dude's.
It's just his age is showing, like where he's looking.
And his voice is starting to sound a little bit weird.
Timbre.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm like noticing it the most. Like if you just watch Dark Knight Rises and then watch him in Tenet, like there's a big, and maybe he's, maybe that was the direction that they gave him. I don't know, but there's like you notice it kind of just at that.
I think he's getting to where you can tell they have to put them together to give the look.
They're kind of like wheeling him around.
Yeah,
the hair
looks like it's kind of They got to put them together.
See, like even as he got older, Christopher Lee was still a like dude. You know what I'm saying?
He always had it. And like you know this, like if you can find some, just go on YouTube, find some interviews of him.
Yeah.
In any period, even like up to late in his life, and he's still
except his very last one.
I don't know
That's
if I
the
saw
only.
That.
It was him wishing everyone a Merry Christmas, and he's in like a dashiki and a African hat.
Oh my God, what? I'm gonna have to.
Christopher Lee was a man. That's funny as shit, dude.
Man,
dude. I mean, how many dudes start fucking metal singing metal in their 80s?
I know it's kind of cool.
He was always, but like the ones that I've seen, I haven't seen that one. I don't know even know if I want to, but like he was really sharp and witty still, and he always had that tenor in his voice.
Yeah,
you can tell Sean. I think you so much my eyebrows. Sean Connery. I think the second he realized he when he himself started realizing he was slipping, he said, "Yo, I'm dipping. I'm done."
Yeah.
No, dude, he dipped early, dude. You know what his last movie was?
What was his last movie?
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. He was like, okay, I'm fucking done after this.
Was that the last one he did? Really?
Yes.
Well, maybe.
Dude, I fucking love that movie. Dude, I'll say it. The comics obviously better. I love that movie though, man. That movie is of a time.
That was his last movie. Damn.
It was like that like 2001 maybe.
Yeah.
To maybe like 2007, where we got movies like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, The Mummy, 300,
Van Helsing,
and like they all have a lot of the same actors. I think the dude that played Dracula in Van Helsing, he was also the Dr. Moriarty in League. And they're bad, like they're bad movies generally, but like
they're guilty pleasures.
Yeah, dude, I will watch the shit out of those movies. Van Helsing and League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, those two. Specifically Van Helsing. Eli loves that movie.
Connery did a movie that I really, really like. It's called Entrapment. I mean, was ever seen
with Jennifer Lopez?
No, with the chick that Michael
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Catherine Zeta-Jones. That's Catherine Zeta-Jones. I couldn't get her name off. I knew it was like three. Yeah, 3 names.
She's still with us, isn't she?
Yeah.
Who, Catherine Zeta-Jones? Yeah, she's all right. She
fell off, man.
Yeah, she married Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
What's up, Brink?
What up, Brink?
What's up, Brink? And he's got all that cash. And she said, "Fuck that." She started popping babies out, and
she was probably taking care of his ass too. Like he was unwell for a long time.
Yeah,
and
remember the shit was that he got throat cancer from eating pussy. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
You can get throat cancer from that.
Well,
yeah, I guess
he got avoided cigarettes all these years like a fool.
He's got like some kind of HPV variant, and
that's supposedly what it was. But then some people are coming out and totally dismissing that, though. You know that, right? It's like that's bullshit.
Yeah, but this was like
the
10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, the same people that talk about that, they're like, they finish with that, and they're like, so what do you know about this Tower 7 of the World Trade Center? We don't even know what temperature steel melts at. That's
fucking funny. This week I did my first job as a salesman this week.
Really? How'd that go, man?
It went okay.
It was you can talk, man.
Yeah, that's what everyone tells me. But I didn't even have to talk to people that much. It was just going and doing inventories at all these shops, right? And then talking to some of the painters a little bit and keeping them from they're bitching at me about how they can't get this, can't get that, and I'm trying to explaining to them the world's problems, You're
like, so in February of 2020 in Wuhan, and you start from the beginning,
this thing called COVID-19 hit us. It was funny. But it went well. It went okay. It was just I got to kind of get finished up, and then I went and I met up with Anna. I finished up really kind of close to where she works at. So just met up with her and before I went up with her though, I got an alert on my phone, and it was telling me where it was this guy that I know who he tells me where targets that he checks. He'll check like stock in Targets around the area,
Like
and he'll
Bricklink or something.
yeah, something like not that, but it's just like a dude that he does it for you.
I'll be
You just
right
have to
back.
register.
Okay.
You register to his his page and shit, and he hits me up and he says, listen, there's a Target like down in Chantilly that is showing for Demona. Because I told him I was looking for
Shit!
Demona.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those here and there.
So I was like, oh, cool, okay. So it's right. I was right by it, so I drove out there. I go in, sure enough, there are two of them, man. I was like, oh, Anna's gonna love this. So I grabbed the one for Anna, and I'm like, all right, here we go, we're off.
Nice, man.
Yeah, it was good. It was a cool grab. And Brink had told me not to worry because they were going to be like more available, out there. And because I was getting concerned because I was like, after they released initially, I didn't see them anywhere, man. I was like, what the fuck?
You didn't, and then so like they did that haulathon NECA did, right? And they were really unclear about like what that meant because I remember like Matt Hurd was like, I'm out on this line because like it's going just to Target and this and that, and I was like, well, I don't know. I think they're gonna put it out, but like nobody fucking knew, which is NECA's fault. NECA should have been super clear to say, hey, we're gonna put these out now. If you miss them now, just wait. They're gonna be plentiful and readily available. A few weeks later, they went up for pre-order, and they're really easy to get. For anybody that missed them. I don't know how I got Demona. I think they went up at Target, and I was just lucky enough to be on my phone at the time, and I just Target app bought it, and it was in my house a couple days later.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Nick got me the Bronx because that one was never went up, I don't think. But since then everything's has gone up. Like for pre-order, you can get it easily, or like I've seen some sitting at Targets, like basically, I haven't seen a Bronx, I don't think, sitting, but I've seen Demona. I've seen Goliath or whatever.
What was the one we saw? I can't remember the name of it. Their dog, like the dog.
Bronx,
that's Bronx. He's the one that comes with Goliath's folded wings, right?
Yeah.
Right. I think we saw one of those, and I asked Anna if she wanted it to get Goliath's wings. She goes, "No, I don't really need that." I was like, "You sure?" She's like, "No, I don't care." She's not going to take them out the box, so
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so she doesn't. She's not worried about it. I was
does she just want Demona, or is she gonna get the line?
No, I got her Goliath already. So she has.
She didn't want Bronx.
Demona. No, she didn't want Bronx. She said she only wanted Goliath and Demona. That was it.
Yeah.
Just because those are her favorite two characters in the show. So.
Yeah, well, they're going in with the line. So.
My favorite character is Xanatos, of course, and
what was that dude that did the voice for him?
That was
Jonathan Frakes.
Jonathan, yep, Jonathan Frakes,
the sexy ass dude.
And
I was
the chick
pissed.
Marina Spirits.
Yeah, and then I forget the dude voice. That did that show had a great cast. Just kind of top to bottom. It was that dude. The dude that did Goliath's voice, Keith David, maybe.
I think
is his name. So. He's all over the place and done everything.
Yeah.
He did,
he's got a cool voice too.
He was Spawn in the HBO cartoon.
I think he did. Yep, I think he was Spawn. I think that was him.
Have you watched that cartoon?
Yeah, it's epic.
It's incredible, dude.
It's amazing. And what's funny? It was done. It's been done a long time ago.
It was like early 90s, like 94, 5, 6. I don't know.
If you watch it now, the animation, that shit holds up. It's good.
The animation holds up. It reminds me of I mean it's American animation at the time, but like just top tier.
Yeah,
Todd McFarlane's at the beginning of every episode, like in some weird, like in this basement, and he's like holding fucking skulls, and he's like, what's Spawn's actual name? Al Simmons trusted his wife. He's like just going on all these weird soliloquies. It's silly, dude. That part I'm always like kind of laugh at, but the show itself is great, and it's rated R as it should be. And
well, I feel like there's certain things you can't do unless you have an R rating, because they like Spawn. Let's be honest, it is a violent, bloody, fucking. It's what it is. It's got to be that way.
Sure was the movie rated R? The 1997 movie?
I think it was. Rated R. If it wasn't, because it was pretty rough too. If it wasn't rated R, it was PG-13. Yeah, and that might be why. I had issues.
That
with some of
movie's
the
rough
things
in
the
a lot
movie.
of ways, but
Which
It
one?
was. The Spawn movie. But one
yeah,
of the
we
things
were
it
talking about the
wasn't-
cartoon.
it
Nick, have
wasn't-
you seen the Spawn cartoon?
Yeah, man, I love that
we
thing.
were
Yeah,
talking about that.
like-
It's great. It's
Like the cartoon is way better than that fucking movie was. Like that movie.
Oh
was,
yeah.
the cartoon. Like, what other R-rated cartoon did we have at the time that wasn't anime? Anime has been doing that shit since it
Yeah.
existed, but for American cartoons, man, I'm like, what else would have been an R-rated like that, like action superhero cartoon? Now we get plenty of them, thank God.
But
Just like Invincible or
Yeah.
Invincible's
Have you-
great too. That's so fucking
Have you
crazy.
guys checked out Primal?
no, dude. I saw JD
I haven't.
Chan posted something about it.
Okay,
Singing
where is
its
that? Where
praises.
is that streaming at?
Netflix, I think.
Is it Netflix?
I don't know anywhere. Like I know it's on.
I'll
I
have to
think
look.
it's
I'll
on
look
at
it up.
least Hulu and HBO Max. I don't know if
Okay,
it's on
yeah,
Netflix.
maybe that's not Netflix. My bad.
It's called Primal. I'll find it.
Yeah,
I'll look it up and
dude,
find it.
it's like
Is it rated R?
silent. I don't know if it can be, but there's enough violence in it,
Yeah,
I
it
might,
might be. I mean,
might
but
watch that. and then
dude.
if
It's like a
enough,
Jack
show-
Kirby caveman
Oh,
who-
really?
who lost his family. Okay,
Mhm.
and like there's no words in this shit.
Oh, dude, that's
It's just
great, man.
him fucking grunting and the noises of the animals.
I feel
Really?
like
and-
you'd think that that'd be like an easy thing to do, but you're basically taking like one of your tools of storytelling and taking it out. Whereas you
Yeah.
could say like the best movies that I've seen, maybe not all the way the case, but a lot of movies that I've seen that are like really good use minimal dialogue
Mhm.
Mhm,
because
mhm.
you don't want to have to explain the plot to the audience, right? So movies, I think they kind of just like trust the audience to figure things out. Like the movie Heat, there's a
Mhm.
lot of dialogue in that, but I do feel like there's they kind of just let the
Have you ever
person
s-
watch the movie.
Have you ever seen the original Mechanic with Charles Bronson?
Yes, I have.
I'm not.
It's really,
Dude,
really good.
The
It's really
first
good.
15 minutes of that movie
Mhm.
are silent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and what you watch to me explains everything because you don't need any dialogue. You don't need
Mhm.
nothing. You don't need nothing said. You just go, wow. It's a good
Bron-
movie though. It's,
Bronson and Michael Jan Vincent.
Yeah, Michael Jan
dude-
Vincent,
the dude from
The
Airwolf.
Airwolf. Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
There's
yep.
this like the movie Drive. Have you guys seen that? With Ryan Gosling,
No.
John
I don't think I've
Bernthal's
seen
in.
that
So
one.
the guy that directed that, Nicholas Winding Ren, I think is his name. He did a couple movies with Mads Mikkelsen.
Mhm.
And like one of them, he's like a Norseman type dude. I forget the name of it. It's great, but it's like that. It's like there's just little to be said. You know, a lot the visuals and like the characters' actions tell the story.
You have mentioned Mad Mikkelsen on the show a few times, and I'll tell you what, man.
My favorite dude. He's great.
I've been getting into like, I don't know what it is, but I like to get high and watch Shakespeare.
Oh, really?
Dude, I want Mads Mikkelsen to
Nick's
play
a college student in the 90s.
I want him to play Claudius in a production of fucking Hamlet.
It would be
You know,
interesting.
Hamlet, like the original story of Hamlet, whatever it was. I can't like Tristan. Well, that Tristan and Isolde was Romeo and Juliet. I forget there was
Yeah.
another story that was Hamlet though, and the original one was like Danish. So yeah, have him and then like pick some young dude like Alexander Skarsgård for fucking Hamlet. Let's go.
Yeah. But yeah, Mads Mikkelsen, man, I've never been critical of him really, just because I don't think he's great in everything. And even if the rest of the movie doesn't really do him justice, he's always great.
How many people can run into a Johnny Depp part and make it their own?
I don't know, man. That's tough to do.
Yeah, I mean, he did
Because
Yeah,
he was in Fantastic Beasts taking over for Depp, and
He's
I was
tough.
like, okay, I was like, okay, I can
Yeah.
get behind this. I see like what you're doing to try to bridge
Yeah,
the
but-
two versions of the character at first, and
Dude, it's
yeah,
funny,
You-
man. Like I remember when that all came out, and this was like, you know, I I wasn't like, I didn't know shit about like the Depp situation, so I was like, that sucks for you, you know. Like see you later. But god damn, dude, fucking like I was like just thinking to myself, I was like, what an upgrade, like from Depp to Mads Mikkelsen. Like
See,
Well,
I'm a Johnny Depp fan, man.
I am too, but I'm thinking like it, and that's like I
know.
just kind of like with him, and I'm not knocking him, but I was like at the time, and this was a few years ago, right? I don't know if I think the same way, but I was like, oh, this dude's best work's behind him, you know?
Yeah.
Mads, like he's still in shit pretty regularly, and Depp wasn't. He was doing some work, but it was kind of just more like under the radar type stuff. He did Black Mass, which I thought he was good. I don't know if that's I wanted that movie to be better than it was, but he was great. You know,
dude, I loved him. Cumberbatch.
Yeah, the cast, man.
Dude, he was good in that. Like he was a scary motherfucker.
He was, dude.
You know, it's funny y'all brought him up, by the way, because I was reading some more shit about, you know, bitch lost the case and she won't let nothing go. So
yeah, and like she's been told she needed that to post the fucking bond in order to be able to appeal, and she's still trying to appeal the case.
Stupid, just
she
stupid.
She probably doesn't have any money, man.
Look at this.
Yeah,
the Australian courts are calling them both back because years ago they got in trouble for bringing their dogs to Australia illegally. Okay.
Well, are they calling Depp back too?
Well, he's being called back, I think, to testify against her ass.
Oh no!
Because she perjured herself in the fucking.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and they got her because the bitch lies so much she can't keep up with her lies. So she kind of admitted that she did it, knowing it was illegal, and
fucking
even though she tried
out, man.
Oh man, what a
I thought me and
dude.
Kate were gonna have to fight over this. You know,
oh really?
Because Kate considers herself a feminist, and as soon as Amber, as soon as Amber Heard took that, you know, feminist like position,
and dude,
I was like,
I think she appropriated that for her own purposes.
Yeah,
did.
You know? And I think I was kind of surprised, Nick, with like how many people didn't kind of like fall for that, you know, like Jackie, for example, was like from day one, like, no, she's fucked up. Johnny Depp is, you know, right in this case. And then my conclusion at the end of it is like they were probably both really shitty. But I think she might have been the cause for a lot of it.
Here's the thing, though. No doubt. He admits though that he was shitty. He admits to his issues.
Exactly.
But she went and made him worse than he was. It made him out to have way like he wasn't just a drug addict. He was a drug addict that beat the fuck out of her on a daily basis. That's what which wasn't true.
And none of us were there.
True, but we were enough witnesses.
But she made the accusation that he penetrated her with a bottle.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Now the deal with that is, when you say things like that, you know, it makes him out to be this horrible person, right? This savage, terrible guy. He starts losing work from it, right? All of a sudden, you're like, wait a minute, can you prove anything you've been saying? Can you prove anything? And that's why he sued her ass, and he won. Yeah, and she keeps saying this shit again. He can sue her again.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like she was claiming First Amendment on that interview she did for what was it, like NBC or whatever?
Yeah,
it's like no, bitch, you're not. You just been sued. You're not protected from making accusations against people when you've got no proof and have been called, and it's been found that you were malicious and lying about it.
Yes, exactly. To get this, Johnny is supposed to be appealing. You know, part of he lost part of the case too, where he was supposed to have to give her $2 million.
Right.
Well, he's appealing that.
Yes, he's now appealing that. But like the thing is he didn't have to pay for any of his behavior. What he had to pay for was his lawyer made a fucking statement while employed by him that said that Amber Heard's accusations were a hoax, and that's what he had to pay for. So none of Johnny Depp's behavior was fucking sanctioned by that court.
Exactly. So you could argue that he shouldn't have been held. And look, listen, does he have his issues? Of course he does.
Yeah.
Of course he does. but you cannot go around making accusations against people that aren't true, that will ruin someone's career, their livelihood, their life.
Yeah.
You know, and I kept telling Anna, when I told Anna to calm her down about it, was I said, listen, do you remember the Duke lacrosse players? I said,
Dude,
let's keep them in mind.
There was
that was a terrible situation.
There's like something at University of Virginia that like Rolling Stone had put out about like just like a fucking gang rape thing, which proved to be completely made up, right? And it's
Rolling Stone has gone way far down in my opinion. It's become actually a conservative mag to me.
Yeah.
They're well, I mean, when you just kind of go all into whatever narrative you want to believe, and because of that, when you see a story and you seize on it, because this is perfectly gonna, make my enemies look bad. And when she put her first thing out, it was 2017, kind of like the height of the Me Too movement. And I think that did her a lot of favors. It didn't do like maybe public perception a lot of favors, because I think people were just like, if somebody's so and I'm not trying to say that if someone experiences something and they if it's abuse, it's fucking abuse, right? And we can all kind of agree to that. But at the height of that, man, there's this Instagram page and it was like a local thing, like here in St. Louis, and it was like a lot of it had to do with like tattoo artists and bartenders and shit like that who had like supposedly, assaulted women, right? So like girls would go and they would like tag these people and say, fucking Bill Rat, like one of this guys, this dude that did one of my tattoos, like I knew who to be a really good dude. He assaulted me and here's the story. And they would like post these stories or whatever. Yeah. And like when you would read them, I would read them and be like, that's not assault. You know what I mean? Like it would be like a situation like we were both at a party, we'd both been drinking a lot, we made out, and then I'm not sure what else we did, but the next morning I woke up, I felt really gross. He shouldn't have done that given how much I had been drinking and everything. And it's like when you hear something like that, and maybe it's not maybe it's different for guys and girls, I'm sure, but it's like that to me sounds like you both got fucked up, messed around, and you might regret it the next day. Like it didn't force you necessarily in that time, and maybe you wouldn't have done the shit if you weren't drunk. Maybe he wouldn't have. It's tough. I mean, it's hard to.
What if men came out and said that shit? What if a man said, "Yeah, man, I gotta tell my story. I felt really gross because I met this girl at a party. I had a lot to drink. And I woke up
every other weekend for me." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Between the ages of like 16 and 20, where I was like, what? No, not 20, 19, when I started to settle down. But I was like, oh my God, dude, I did this. And I'd feel like regret and shame and shit for like, fucking around with somebody, whether they
about
be
2
like,
seconds.
or like whether they be like an ex or something like that, where it's like obviously like fucking drugs and alcohol were involved.
I mean, everybody has their coyote story.
Absolutely, right. I just feel like and I'll get hammered by this, but I feel like women don't want equality. They just want a double standard.
So some of them do, man. I think it's like the big vocal majority. I think probably one is the vocal minority. I should say.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the thing.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. That's very. This is good to put it up right now.
But it is tough when when you haven't, like, context does fucking matter. Now, like holding someone down and doing something to them, I don't necessarily maybe in that situation care what the context was. I think there's definitely a line to action, but I think a lot of these things that are like that really are just like I got fucked up, drugs and alcohol, right? We've all been there. I've times in my life I've flown too close to the sun, as one would say. Maybe I've had to settle down in my old age, somewhat. Basically, I just need to stay in my house when I'm doing these things. But and you do shit and you regret it and you feel stupid for it and silly and maybe you feel gross for it. Those feelings go away. For a guy within the next few minutes, usually by the time I've had something from Jack in the Box for breakfast, I've moved on to the next, the next thing. But for other people, it
Fucking
that's
E.
just some people maybe it takes
Oh,
longer,
God.
but like when you call everything assault, it makes like actual assault mean less, right? So we really do have to be careful with language and things like that. And it's like you do something that you regret, but you weren't. And you have to really think carefully and critically. Was I a victim of something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe you were, but if you think about it and you weren't, man, it's tough because it does do something to, like I said, like with like the way we use language and using something so much to where it loses meaning. When someone is, like I said, fucking held down and has something done to them, it almost makes what they go through less because we're calling everything that. We're calling you getting fucked up and making out with some bum in a bar. Like you're calling that assault. You're equating it with like a violent attack.
Right.
And that's why it muddies and muddles that language.
It does. It's getting almost like
men have been charged with rape because women have regretted the contact afterwards.
Yes. No, that's true.
For sure, man. Fucking Emmett Till. Like that was what happened, as I understand it. Like, and that goes back. And it's like I said.
I got a question about since you mentioned Emmett Till. Let's get on that. Do you mind?
No, for sure.
Okay, a couple of either weeks or months ago, there was an arrest warrant that was found for the woman that accused Emmett Till of sexually assaulting her.
Mm-hmm.
The warrant was because of the false claims that she made, and the warrant was unserved.
Huh.
The woman's in her 90s now.
Jesus.
There's been a call to serve the warrant.
Oh boy.
I don't know how I feel about that because we go after Nazis still. We just bumped up a couple. Yeah. And what she caused to happen to that young man is fucking abhorrent.
I agree. I do.
So it's interesting, man. So in 1964, the German Chancellery was going to vote on or the German Parliament, was going to vote on to they have a statute of limitations of 20 years for murder, things like whatever it may be. So that would have been 20 years post 1945. After us and the Russians whooped them. So these there was a guy from Latvia.
Not really, bro.
He was a runaway Nazi, and he lived in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, and then spent some time between there and somewhere else. I don't remember. But these Israeli
Chile,
yeah, probably. But these like Mossad agents wanted to find him and kill him because they were like there can't be this statute of limitations, and I'm on that side of things like this. So they found this dude, Anton Zuckers was his name. They killed him, just like the badasses that they were, like.
Yeah, when the fuck did they get Eichmann? 64?
And he did get away for a long time.
Mossad grabbed his ass and he went on trial right in Israel.
Yeah, they didn't kill him.
I'm not saying this to summarily execute this woman.
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
But
definitely not. And I'm not either. I just use that story because they did it at that time. They always would sign these letters. If they did kill someone like that, they would sign them, by those who would never forget. That shit always sticks with me. Always has. And the German Parliament voted to kind of like disregard that in certain cases, and I think that was an important thing.
It's interesting because she's 90, she's frail, she's old, probably, probably
and it's like, what further harm is she going to cause? Like,
that's the mentality. But then, should somebody's age mean that they don't have to be responsible for a wrong that they did
Yeah, or like just enough
in the
time
past.
passing.
That
you
was,
know?
If there's a
Yeah.
warrant out there like that, she's an accessory to murder.
yeah. I mean, you think about it. That's again, and it's for me. That's kind of one of those. Is there a gray area, or should it just be very black and white? I don't know. You know, I'm not sure. I'm a person that believes that you committed a crime, yeah, and you get caught.
Mhm.
That's it. You know, and you know she should leave.
I
The
think,
warrant.
and I think one of the things that has me on this is Emmett Till's family is asking for her to be prosecuted.
And see, there you go, right there. That's because they're feeling like they want justice.
Yeah.
They want justice. That's what they want. And she's getting away because she's 90 years old now. So that's probably why prosecutors are dragging their feet, you know. And I get it, but I get it that I can see the sympathy, but again, there's been plenty of elderly people who like y'all were talking about. There are a lot of old Germans that hid out for a long fucking time.
Yeah,
man.
and it's like what
And
Adolf Eichmann, was he gonna do anything post? Well, actually, bad example, because there were like ideas with a lot of those higher ranking officers and things like that wanted to like continue and that's not
that's usually a point. But this family has been calling for justice for decades. I mean, it's a generational thing at this point.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying, though. And that's a good point. E. That has to be asked. That question has to be asked too.
Yeah, it does. It does. It all has to be qualified.
Right. Yeah, and some people might ask, well, would this really be justice? Because she's probably going to die any day now. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, but that man has been dead.
No, true.
And
that's a good point.
He has gotten no justice.
You're right. And that's what I mean. So I kind of can see both sides of it. I think I know with my own morality, her ass would have been arrested a long time ago. Because that's my morality. You know, I'm a believer that if you commit a crime and you get caught for doing it, and they know they have enough evidence to charge you, they should charge you.
Yeah,
have your day. She should have her day in court.
Absolutely.
And they should have their day.
And if she's not competent, then there are remedies for that.
Right. Then she can go to a psychiatric home and live out her life. That's the 2 years or whatever she has left. If she has that, I don't know. Maybe the 6 minutes. I'm not sure. But 90. Yeah. Goddamn, 90? Yeah. Dude, I know I ain't making that to 90. I can tell you that right now.
Ain't that the fucking truth?
That's a long fucking time.
I'm gonna be happy if I make it to 35.
Jesus Christ. You know what? I said that when I turned 35. I was like, wow, I made it to 35.
It's so weird as a kid, like how you think the time progresses. Because like when I was a kid, I was like, I'm never gonna make it to 25.
Yeah, same here.
Here.
I couldn't imagine being like in my 30s when I was a teenager. I couldn't picture it.
Yeah, that's always that strange thing. It's like you never feel like an adult. You know what I mean? Like I never feel an adult. Like I'm just like fumbling and bumbling through life. You know what I mean?
He said just toss her in Rikers. Is that what he said?
That's what the old bitch deserves.
I don't know, man. It's funny. You really that's a tough one because it's like, you know, you totally could see people arguing against wanting to arrest the frail old lady, but at the same time, you're like, yo, that frail old lady is accessory to murder.
It's like obviously, you know, like I feel like maybe the optics of it.
Yes, that's what it
all
is.
The way in the handcuffs or whatever.
Do you know how
look bad? But
do you know how bad her lawyer, her family probably, and then her lawyers would play that up? Oh, look how rough the police are being on a frail old lady.
That people
break her fucking hip.
Yeah, what's his face? Harvey Weinstein was like using a walker. You know,
I know.
He didn't know what fucking day it was. You know,
I know,
like,
man.
Those are those things, those visual things to gain sympathy from, maybe the public or the jury in specific cases.
Yeah, y'all remember back in the day when Eminem was in court? He had glasses on and shit. It was he was like, wait a minute, where's the thug? What happened? This guy looks like a white guy. What's going on?
Dude, everybody cleans up for court, man.
Yeah, no, but boy, he really cleaned up, man. He cleaned up bad. like it was like
he cleaned up bad.
He cleaned up bad. I was like, wow, that doesn't even look like the same. I remember when I was in court. Last time I had to go to court, I remember I was sitting in there and I watched the judge ream a motherfucker. This dude showed up and wearing some jorts.
No way.
Yeah, she booted him out of court.
It's funny you say that, Russ. So like we have the Madison County courthouse just right up the block from me, right? 4 houses down near there. And on Wednesday is like court day. So it's like traffic tickets, moving violations, things like that from all over Madison County. And there's a lot of trailer park communities, not in Edwardsville here, but just in like surrounding towns and cities. So it's like, I always like will drive, like when I'm driving around on like a Wednesday, I'm like, let me go make sure I go the way that takes me by the courthouse. And dude, you just see the fucking goof troop, man. Like just the silliest looking people. Like, and you'll get that, like you'll see dudes in like bag, like the job interview button down for like the job at Waffle House or whatever. But then like you'll just see some bums and scrubs and people in flip flops and God knows what else, dude. Like,
I'll tell you what, even these little redneck fuckers down here in Orange County, Virginia, are smart enough that when they go to court, they dress, dude. They at least put a little effort into it. I was laughing. We had to take RJ to get his driver's license. He had to take him to court. They had to all go in front of the judge, and the judge just scared the hell out of him.
Your driver's license?
Yeah, you have to go when you're younger. Yeah, like you're 16, you have to go in front of the judge, and the judge will call your name, and you get your license from the judge.
Oh,
and
wow.
Then, and then you have to sit there and listen to the judge basically just pummel your ass and tell you how dangerous it is, and to be careful and don't bring and your parents have control of your license until you're 18 and all that, and they
good.
But before that happens, they want all the kids there early because they want the kids to be sitting in court to watch the judge like annihilate people.
Oh yeah, dude.
So, but I laugh because I was like, look at all these necks, man. They're looking good. I mean, a couple of guys we know, and Anna's like, I didn't even know he had a suit. And I said, get out of here. I said, of course he's got a suit. She's like, when have you ever seen? She only wears a suit to church. And I said, I told her, I said, he does wear a nice button shirt though. And she goes, but he don't ever wear a tie. And I said, well, ties are uncomfortable. Give my man a break. He wore that shit for court though.
Yeah.
I thought it was he ain't stupid. He want to get out of that traffic violation. He was fighting. He being smart.
I'm just glad I haven't seen a courtroom in at least a decade, even for a ticket.
The last time I went was for RJ, and I haven't had to go.
I haven't been since I was
wow.
Yeah, I haven't been since I was a kid.
Like, I was in my 20s was the last time
I haven't been charged with anything besides a traffic ticket since 16.
Right.
So what I had to go when I was in high school because I whooped some kid's ass in the fucking cafeteria and I got charged with assault. So I had to go. It was like family court though. It wasn't like a proper courtroom. You know what I mean? I was like in a
last time I got in last time I was in serious trouble like that, I had to go to court in Fairfax because this is funny. Me and this guy got into a fight, and him and his brother, they beat my ass. They beat my ass, put me on, fuck me up. And I got pissed. And I went up to his car and I keyed his car.
Oh, no.
I wrote but I made a mistake.
I
wrote Russ the Muss.
Well,
he put his first and last name, mailing address, mother's maiden name, social security number.
See, like
he knew exactly who it was. He called the police on me and shit. And
I think I've told you guys before. I fucking grew up in a residential situation. However you want to put it. I moved from a residential situation to a CBT. Well, I was still in the residential situation when I was 14, and I ran away on my birthday because I was pissed off that I was in trouble and I couldn't do anything for my birthday except sit in the corner at a table by myself and eat cake. So I ran away.
Dude, now like as an adult, you're like, God, I wish I could just sit in a fucking
table in the corner and eat cake
by myself.
Fuck yeah.
So I ran away. I got caught by the I got caught by the cops after I left the mall. So I gave the dude a false name, and they waited for the staff from the place was called Brightside. And so they waited for the staff from Brightside to come and get me.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they came, I had given them a false name. It was like something Ford. Because the fucking cop car was a fucking Crown Vic.
Yeah, you're like, you see the Ford, you're like, Gerald Ford.
Yeah, that was James Ford.
Yeah, you're like Nicholas Ford Coppola.
That is.
My dad's rich, man.
So I'm 14, all full of piss and vinegar, right? And so I say, I don't know who that guy is, but I'd rather go with him than you talking to the cop. And they had 3 fucking cruisers on fucking site at this point.
Oh my gosh, man.
So I said, after I say that, and I turn to go with the staff member, dude's name was Eric. He was a cool dude. All of a sudden, I feel something in the back of my fucking neck, and it's metal and it's hard.
Ooh.
I thought this motherfucker had a gun on me.
Huh.
It was his fucking mag light. He popped me in the back of the neck with the mag light. And I'm 14, full of fucking adrenaline and just wah! I grabbed that fat fucking cop by his belt and his fucking throat and threw his ass over the hood of his car.
Oh my god, man.
4 other officers there on the scene. They don't like when one of them goes down.
They just grabbed each part of you and pulled you in different directions.
Oh, no. They all pulled their nightsticks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just thumped your butt, man.
Yeah, and then when the cop got up, he fucking stomped my ass before handcuffing and shackling me and throwing me in the cop car.
Yeah, but you're all right. You were white though. You were okay. You weren't gonna get killed.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna get killed or anything.
I mean, it might hit you a little bit, just to subdue you. But like me, I never. You had a much cooler arrest than I did. The only time I got like put down by a female cop. My friends were laughing at me.
Yeah, you let it. You probably let it happen.
No, I didn't. She put me on my.
Russell. Yes, ma'am.
And that's how he met Anna, dude.
Yeah. That's Anna.
And then another charge got fucking thrown on that because I broke a fucking kid's nose. So when I went, and that happened like 2 days later.
Oh my god.
No one I had court already, and I broke the kid's fucking nose. So they put that. So I had a fucking felony and a fucking assault charge.
Okay, how much time did you spend in juvie? Because like I spent 18 months altogether in juvie.
I was
a kid. How much did you
I was in juvie from the time I was 11 to 16.
Oh, so you much more time than I did. God damn.
It wasn't really juvie. Like I said, it's like a step down.
The halfway house.
Yeah.
Where
it's a residential school, almost like you see in like the Native American movies, like that they're complaining about in Canada right now. They have all the dead bodies below them. This place was an orphanage this was a Catholic orphanage in the 50s. Then when orphanages started not to be a thing, they started taking in troubled youth.
Right, it's that's what I was about to say. It's
so kind of like a sheriff's youth ranch is
there's
like
a joint in Virginia called Dominion.
It's like Xavier School for troubled youngsters or whatever it was.
Yeah, Dominion is like that.
I can't remember the name. Yeah,
it's a private facility that takes in troubled youth. That's kind of what they do, and they
have them all over the country.
Yeah, you go through counseling and all that stuff. Now I never did that. I was just locked up.
Nah, I was in a place like that from the time I was 11 till about 15.
Yeah,
actually 16, and then like I was in the CBT part of it for about a year, and then I went into foster care until I was 18.
Oh god.
I was going to end up being put into a homeless shelter,
right?
Because I wasn't, I didn't have anywhere to go, and
you age out at 18. Right?
Yeah.
So, I never had to go to. I never had to be like do a foster family. I never had to do that. My mom luckily got custody of me.
I was a ward of the state, so
yeah. My mom got cleaned up from her drug problems. She was able to get in custody of me again. So I was like, all right, cool, but Man, it's wild though. Goddamn, you spent my little brother had to spend time in a facility, something like what you had to spend time in. Because he was he's a fucking ass clown. He beat what happens? He beat a kid down on a skateboard.
There's 10 people watching right now, Ralphie.
He beat Ralph, you cool motherfucker. I like that guy.
Ralphie's
anyway. Yeah, my little brother put a beat down on this dude for I don't even know what the guy did. I remember I think he said something to my little brother. My little brother came up behind him and hit him in the back of the head with a skateboard and beat the fuck out of him.
Oh my God,
I was like, oh Jesus Christ. I told my mom was like, he's getting charged with assault. I said, well, he did.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's rough, dude.
And then I didn't start drinking until the night before my grandmother actually came to get me.
Oh shit.
Oh damn, really?
They were coming. It was both my grandparents, my grandmother and grandfather.
Yeah.
And they were coming all the way up from Virginia to Massachusetts to get me. And she asked me before, do you drink? Because my dad's a raging alcoholic, and I was like, no. I was like, no, and I was truthful at that time.
Yeah.
But then,
I can never find any, man.
But the thing was she picked me up the fucking New Year's after I turned 18. And I was like, I can buy booze on my own because these motherfuckers ain't checking my ID.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Back in the day, you could get away with a lot more than you can now. I mean, now I feel like it's tough now. They check old people's ID and shit now. But
yeah, it depends. It's we knew when I was growing, I always looked older, just kind of always, right? So when we were young kids, when I was 15, I looked 18. So I was always buying booze and you just go certain.
Ralphie might be in the TNN chat. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you just go to certain liquor stores or certain gas stations. You would just know that they wouldn't card you, because it was oftentimes it was ones run by Pakistani people or people did like Muslims or Indian people. There was did at the time, I just didn't give a fuck, the ones that I would go to, there's we just want your money, man.
Well, yeah. It's I don't know, man. There things have changed a lot in the last 30 years.
Yeah, no, I wonder, man.
Hold on for 1 second. Ralphie hasn't blocked anyone. Ralphie is not in the MPSP Theater chat. He is in the TNN YouTube channel chat. We cross post to 3 different things. That's what the 3 different links are whenever I do posts. So Ralphie's in the TNN chat while you guys are in the MPSP Theater chat. I don't know.
Ralphie, get the MPSP chat.
So I try to show everything Ralphie says. But sometimes we even get shit from the Twitch chat.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because I always try to get a sense, because the age group of kids I teach, I'm always trying to listen to them or just be what are you guys doing on the weekends? Are you fucking around? The way I was is a middle schooler, just kind of being just doing whatever I could get my hands on. It wasn't I want to smoke weed. I'm into that. It was just whatever we could get. One weekend, someone's oh, we got pills, and that's another weekend, someone had some weed, and then it was booze. We would do this thing where if people had fridges in their garages and left their garage doors open,
y'all gonna steal this shit.
We would just
That's
be
funny,
walking into people's garages and just checking and pulling out 24 packs of Corona, you know what I mean, and just running away into the woods with them. It's just crazy, man.
They used to always stack shit up in front of gas stations would have these stacks of fucking sodas and shit,
Were you running up the Foot Clan on the Ninja Turtles?
Run up and we would all be planning it out, each person's gonna grab a box and go and grab it all ass, the fucking there was an Indian guy to come out. He's oh, stop me in.
See, I knew my dad liked to get fucked up as quickly as possible. Okay, because that's what alcohol.
What was he drinking, man?
Hot vodka.
Hot vodka. What the fuck is that, dude?
fucking you leave the vodka in your truck while you're out working all day and it gets hot. So it evaporates faster and gets in your bloodstream faster.
Oh my god, man. Could you imagine?
Alcoholics know all the tricks, dude. I'm surprised
Yeah.
he wasn't a fucking butt chugger.
So yeah, whatever does it faster, dude. And that's like if I say that's like the alcoholic's pick is vodka.
Yeah.
You know,
Because it's the closest thing to being tasteless.
yeah, and like people say you can't smell it, but I can always smell it on people.
Yeah. Dude, you can definitely smell it.
That's like I feel like that's like an old wives' tale or something or whatever you want to call it. Like, but
yeah, that like clear liquor doesn't smell.
Yeah. Especially like fucking like rum and like gin. And I'm like, what are you just like chewing fucking mint bubble gum? But like
They fucking. They used to tell me that moonshine wouldn't make you stink either. Bullshit.
Moonshine makes you stink because
terrible.
Because you drink it and then you pee your pants.
Well, no, dude, you start smelling like fucking popcorn.
I don't know.
Is that right?
I would
drink enough of it.
Well, not really popcorn, but have you ever smelt cream corn?
Yeah.
That sweet, like.
I guess maybe it depends on like what they make it with, right? Because it's gonna be
it's
like
usually corn whiskey,
corn mash. Yeah.
Well, I had like a fruity one.
A fruity time in your life? Oh, my bad.
Yeah, Anna's uncle made it. It was like apple cranberry moonshine, and we were like,
it was getting fruity with Anna's uncle, dude.
Yeah, dude. Oh, her uncle's great, man. He's funny. He's a worker. He doesn't drink anymore, but he likes to make it for people.
Yeah.
So,
that was
to get rust drunk.
Yeah.
my uncle died, and he was the last moonshiner in the family, and he had a fucking colostomy bag. And what he had been, dude. This dude was like me. He got shot 3 times with a 357 when he was in his late 60s. Like fucking and fuck he was my uncle, man. He was nuts, but I love that guy. Yo, the first time I met him after I was a kid, because like I said, I've been locked up all that time.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to see my family in Virginia. So the first time my other uncle takes me to his house, he's got the colostomy bag, right? He had just been shot. Fucking me and the 2 uncles are talking. We're all having a good time. You know, he's brought out a little bit of shine. You know, me and the other uncle are drinking. I can't touch it. All of a sudden, I'm sitting there and he says, "Oh, Lord, Nicholas, I got to fart." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Why the fuck you announcing it? Go to the bathroom or some shit." And he rears back and pops that motherfucking bag open because he had gotten a gas bubble in it. Oh my God. I had to leave. I was gagging and shit, and he's just sitting, dude, and they're just sitting there laughing.
The real world sucks.
Oh
my God, man.
I would have thrown up, dude. I know.
I'm like,
it was. Oh God, man.
Jesus.
But yeah, he was the last moonshiner I knew about in the family, and so that's a tradition gone. You know,
my little brother used to fart on his hand and then put it over on my nose.
Oh man, I would immediately, even as a kid, dude, I'd be like, "There's this lines I'm not gonna cross."
Yeah,
I would immediately start vomiting.
That's a good one. That's a good one to discuss. What are the lines that you have that if somebody crosses them, it's on?
Well, I can tell you, I beat the fuck out of my little brother a lot for that one. So there you go.
Yeah. Wait. So what do you mean? Like,
if somebody fucks with my food, that's a huge trigger. Like I might not think about it and come up out of my seat.
It's like a prank or something like that.
Yeah.
So I kind of get this. Like, it's like, and obviously as a adult, you're not going to act on these impulses, but like, what's something that makes you get to that state of mind?
Yeah, where you have to think to stop yourself from
definitely
acting in a inappropriate way.
I don't like when people like stepping on my shoes, so I don't know.
Dude,
rough.
so me too, Russ. So I got 3. Stepping on my shoes is 1. Pulling on my clothes. Like even like my kids now, like will cock back if they like pull on my t-shirt. I don't know why, but that shit sets me the fuck off, dude. Like they do that, like get the fuck back, like don't touch my clothes. Like, dude, it's so crazy.
It's weird.
And,
it's weird.
You know, more not anymore. This doesn't happen, but like when I bartended and like worked in a restaurant, you know, like everybody fucked with each other, but like when people touched my face, like tried to like play slap with, I don't like that shit. I fucking.
That's interesting.
This might be the last time I whooped someone's ass. Like I fucking threw this cook against the what do you call it, the walk-in, and choked him out because he kept coming up and like slapping my face. And I told the dude, I was like,
that's one of mine too.
Yeah, I was like, don't do it again. He did it again, and I had to fucking lay his ass or put him to sleep.
Like I would find that when I was, especially when I was a teenager, and if I got into a fight with someone, if they beat up on my body or anything like that, it was fine. But if they punched me in the face, I would get so fucking mad, dude. I don't know why it was. It would make me so mad. I would get heated. It like you hit me in the ribs, and I'm like, oh, shit hurts. But hey, I'm just going on. And then they hit me, they punch me in the face. I'm like, you motherfucker, you're dead now.
Yeah, dude. And it's like I never like
Spider Monkey time.
When I bartended, there's like that. I had to throw people out of the bar that were like fucking wasted idiots, you know, and like that was like. You know, I haven't put my hands on somebody really since then. There's one time this dude like grabbed Jackie's arm. I was working one night and I threw him through a fucking window, man. Like he was, I was working and she was up there hanging out, and there are these group of guys just being goofy and loud. And I like, you know, like you get a sense when you're in that milieu for so long, like people walk in the door and you just tell.
You know who's going to be a douchebag.
Yeah, they walked in and I was like, these dudes are going to be trouble, man. And you know, I was working and we would drink and stuff while we're working, and some nights I'd get blacked out. This night wasn't one of them. No, I was drinking and kind of just like socially, and this dude was mouthing off. He said something to Jackie's sister. They were getting into it, and she said something to him. And like he like grabbed her arm to like move her, and I was just like, like arm, neck. So I was like, and just like threw this dude through a window, and it was fine, you know. Like
I got one similar to that too.
And,
wow.
But like I never like I would never get into like a confrontation, like a physical confrontation, out of like I have a beef with this person. Like it was always because they fucked with somebody close to me.
I was gonna say, so would you say Jackie is Jackie, or maybe
yeah,
somebody
close anybody, because like the one in like I was talking about in high school, like there was this dude that was fucking with, like I ate lunch with this big group of people. You know, it was like a bunch of the people I wrestled with. It's like a bunch of girls that played soccer and shit like that. And like this dude was like fucking with this one girl, and my buddy who I was just with today, and he wrestled fucking 103. You know what I mean? This dude was big, and he was always fuck with this dude. And it's like one day I just had enough, you know. So it's like I just never got fucked with really, you know, for whatever reason. But it was like when I was really sensitive to like, no, you're fucking with this dude because you feel like you're stronger than them, or like if you're fucking with a girl, you know, kind of the same thing. And that shit, I just like had no patience for. I guess I still don't, you know.
So is Kate a set off for you? Like, anyone fucks with Kate, you're going to their shit. It doesn't mean you make you blow up and where you have to control yourself, or do you have to?
Now let me qualify this that I am old. I am older now. And
I think for all of us, you know what I mean.
There have been certain jokes made, you know, like say even like I know I could joke with you about Anna because we were getting so close,
right.
You know, that was the thing. But if somebody I don't know, was talking shit about my wife, that's not cool. If somebody put their hands on her, definitely that would be a problem. But yeah, mine. So yeah, like hurting those that are mine.
Got you. All right, I see.
Do you know, my wife, right? Yeah. My wife, my son, my friend. Right. You know, something like that. Like I can take a lot, you know, about me. There's certain subjects that can cause.
It might get you a little heated, but you just kind of can deal with it.
Yeah.
Well, no, there are certain subjects that if someone were to say things to my face that.
Yeah, you might
It
want to
could,
down, right?
yeah, like I could have my Randy Orton voices in my head moment,
Yeah,
That's interesting too, because it's like,
and that's my thing
Yeah.
is like these things. I'm not saying that they would necessarily. I can't control myself, but they give you
make
that reason
feel-
that you
yeah.
have to.
Yeah, they make you
got
like
you.
feel like
I
just
got
to
you.
get in that mindset, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
not, and it's like going to this, like I don't want anyone to think we're out in the fucking grocery store,
Yeah,
our hands on people and shit like that. But it's like
some of us are.
but it's like a thing where it's because I have things that I feel politics and like religion, things like that. Like I don't give a fuck about those things because I don't hold any of that stuff sacred. But like like if someone were to criticize like me as a father, like that would be something to get me in that mode. But then at the same time, I'd be in a place to say, I know in my heart that I'm a good dad. So whatever this person says doesn't fucking matter. So that they can say whatever they want to, and it doesn't mean anything. But yeah, it's like it is that
that's interesting because
reaction, And so just real quick, going off something that Nick, you said this about giving Anna a hard time or Russ a hard time about Anna. Like I have this conversation with like my middle school kids sometimes where it's like, you heard this student joking around with me. That doesn't mean that you get to also, because we have a relationship that you and I don't have, so like I feel like some people get into their adulthood without ever learning that.
That can happen.
Boundaries.
So they might hear, this person busts on this person about this thing, and they might think, oh, okay, it's cool for me to do, and it's not, so people who can't really like read a situation like that. Like I had one of my wrestlers from a couple of years ago, he's gonna be a sophomore now. Like him and I, like he went through his 6th grade through 8th grade year, and like we would work out a lot together. And like by the time he was in 8th grade, like he was basically like a grown man, you know what I mean? And we would fucking scrap and beat the shit out of each other and everything. And he would give me a hard time, and I'd give him a hard time, And he's one other kid that was like friends with him was trying to do the same stuff, and I was like, you're not. Let's just say this kid's name is Russ. I was like. And because I had to tell him one day, I said, look, you're not Russ. I said, Russ and I have a special relationship with each other. Like that dude has done everything. He's done some really difficult things, in practice and competition and everything for me. Like we've made each other bleed. You know what I mean? Like we fucking scrapped and tried to whip each other's ass and stuff. And I said, we don't have that. So you can't talk to me this way, right?
That's what you're saying,
and it's like for a middle school kid, like hopefully, like from that he learned that lesson. Like he never did that again with me, but hopefully he applies that to every other relationship that he's in or whatever. So
I had something like that happen with my family, when my son. It happened with my son actually. It was we're at a big family gathering, and my brother's son, he's in the Air Force, and he'd come home. For a couple of weeks to spend some time, and we were all to get together. And and him and RJ get along. RJ's a little older than him, but they get along really well, And my sister's son, he's a bit younger than they are, and they talk shit to each other all the time. RJ and his cousin do that, and my nephew, my little nephew, comes up. He's like 13. And he starts trying to talk shit and say the same things, and
it catches you off guard, like.
Well, Archie looked down at him. He said, whoa, inappropriate. You don't speak to me that way. I'm an adult, dude. You don't talk to me like that.
I'm fine.
He thinks he's just with his cousin, and Archie's like, "Oh, don't talk to me like that, man. What the fuck's wrong?"
I'm finding I'm having to have those conversations with Cal.
Are you?
Dude, and Nick, I've had to say some stuff to Sonny sometimes, just like we were at this thing today, and one of my buddy's kids was doing something, and he was like, "Oh, he's always doing this," and Sonny was like, "Yeah, he is," and I said, zip it. It's not your place to say that, you know.
Right.
I had to get
Even if
on
you
him
said
when
it
he
right
was
there,
younger about snitching. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what was it's
yeah.
like I can bitch about, I can be like, oh god, dude, Jackie did this and this and this thing.
Yeah.
But like if one of you two were like, bro, why did Jackie do this? Like it would, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
It would be
you can
weird.
talk
Yeah.
about you can talk about that shit, but other people. So it's like dude, it's like for with my kids, I don't pick my battles, dude. I will nitpick anything that fucking hits me sideways because like, look, if it's not me, who else is gonna do it? Like
True.
it's some weird
That's
about that.
true.
Like I will like,
So-
and I'm exhausted by the end of the day, but I will nitpick every little thing. Like,
So like what Cal's been doing is calling me short.
oh yeah,
And
Really?
like
you just gotta put your hands on him, man. That's what.
yeah, like that's the thing. That's the thing is like he's comfortable at that point where like he shouldn't be.
Yeah,
And so like I had to talk to him about it today because it's like obviously I'm 5'10", 5'11". I'm not short, but like the thing is the constant like barrage of, you know, like that insult
If
without it making sense, you know?
Right.
yeah.
Right.
And then
But
that's
also-
it's like a social skills thing because like then it's
Yeah.
like you could do the same thing to him. You could be like
And
find one thing about him
Yeah.
and just fucking
right. And
constantly-
I told him that today because you know I'm trying to explain to him, trying to be a better parent, you know. So I'm like, dude,
You
that's
like
me. That's
it's more
I'm trying to be the shepherd every day.
yeah, hard, man.
But like what I was telling him is, you know, that's making fun of something I can't control.
Dude,
You know, and that
that's the thing
you
that
know
drills
that's
down
something. Yeah, and I said it'd be the same thing as me making fun of something about your appearance, you know, something you can't control, and that seemed to stick. So
Yeah.
hopefully that goes on.
Yeah, because like that
Yeah.
that is a good boundary and like a good
But
way to explain that to kids. Like if
Yeah.
you know
Yeah, you did a good job with that.
give somebody a hard time about their haircut or
Yeah.
or like the fucking clothes they got on, even because like you can fix that shit ultimately, but like
Right.
yeah, there are certain things where you're like, I mean, like
But-
people's like
Yeah.
yeah, you can go on.
He's just at that age though where
He wants to
started-
push.
yeah, he's starting to feel
Mhm.
himself out a little bit. He's starting to, you know,
Yeah,
and
he
he's
probably
bugged-
wants to like do
but-
that adult shit, you know,
Yeah,
a
he-
little bit too.
but
and-
you know, he wants to be
He-
wants to act grown, you know, and
I
You
think
were
he wants to
smart.
go out. I think he wants to go out in the yard.
I don't think he wants that. Because he might say he does. The second he steps out there, he'd be like, yeah. Because my son was
Yeah.
like that. And the
Fuck
second
this.
I told my son, the yard's right out there. We can go right now. And he's like, he told me, he said, Dad, get the fuck out of here. I would never fight you. And I was like, that makes me feel better. Now, shut the fuck up and quit acting disrespectful. We're okay.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, now he was like 14, you know, and I mean that's around
That's
that age,
exactly
you know?
Cal's age. Yep.
Yeah, that's what the age. I think young men want to buck up to dad a little bit,
Yeah.
and as long as you say, "Hey, look, we can do this," you know, but I don't. I mean, but you know, and you know,
That's
and,
what I've told him.
you know, you call them out on it. Typically they'll back.
First of all, you got to have a little bit of arrogance about it.
you do,
Oh yeah,
you
for
do.
sure, man.
But
So I
John's not-
told.
yeah.
So what I told him, I was like, all right, anytime you want, you can go 1-on-1 with the great one. Stole that shit from the Rock.
I think also too. Like, look, Cal's a good. He's a good.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's an
for sure,
excellent
man.
kid.
And-
Excellent
and-
kid.
and I
Anything I
think
say is just a
Yeah.
nitpick.
I think he
Yeah.
respects you. That's what I'll say. I think
Oh,
there's
absolutely,
respect,
yeah.
Okay. So if you were to if y'all were to go outside and he playing it up, but the second it got real to him, I think he'd go,
Mhm.
okay, no
Yeah.
way, you know.
And that's
Because
the
a
other
respect
thing,
you know?
dude. Like you got to think. I mean, it's your house.
True.
Yeah.
So like there's no losing to a kid.
No, man, and it's like that thing where
I'm sorry. Like
because like you know even Jackie, you know we go with like the parenting thing. We kind of sometimes go back and forth. I think ultimately we're on the same page, but
Yeah.
she'll be like, man, just give him a break on this and this, and I'm just like, I can't, dude. I just fucking
yes.
can't because like at the end of the day, like I gotta send these kids out into the
out
world.
there, and they
And
are a
that's-
reflection of us.
Yeah, the
That's the
reflection of
problem.
us, and then it's like if we don't do this stuff, then their teachers are gonna have to do it, and then their fucking bosses are, and
Well,
we're just setting them up
okay.
for
For failure.
See, also,
failure,
Sam,
yeah.
though, Sam, you work in a profession
100%.
where-
I was just
where
about to
you
say that,
see
yeah.
it
I see
up
that from the
close and
other end.
personal.
And dude, the worst kids
So-
I've ever had have had just soft ass parents. It's not the strict.
I'm
parents
sure.
that-
I'm sure. It's different. Other parents, you
But
have
like-
to kind of figure out how that needs to be done just on your own whim. You have to know,
Yeah.
you know.
But like we can move on from this
Yeah,
soon
yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But
We
like,
can.
but I've told them, I've been like, look, dude, you're too big for me to play with.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Like,
Yeah,
like
let's-
I'm gonna do things that you've never heard of, and they're gonna hurt.
I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. I would never want to fight my son. Would fuck me up, dude.
No, I don't
I-
think so, man. You
I-
gotta-
I
you're in
I
his
probably-
head.
I
You're
would
in
have
his
to.
head,
I would.
dude.
I would have to
I
pull
probably got like 4 more years before that boy will
So Nick,
pretzel me
you
up.
gotta whoop his ass one more time.
My
Just
kid
to,
is,
just to really stick with him.
yo, my kid's 6'3", like 210, man. He'd fuck me. He's young.
But dude,
He'd wear
it's
me
different.
out.
It's different though,
I-
man.
Cal-
But he doesn't
dude.
know that yet.
Yeah. And that's the
Well,
thing.
maybe he does,
And that's
I
the
don't
thing,
know.
dude. These big kids don't know their strength because they hurt you
Yeah.
without meaning to.
Right.
And
Exactly.
so like they'll get you on the shoulder like that or something. You gotta stop yourself because you're like, ooh, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you get into that mode, man. So that is like the good thing about like with coaching. It's like I'll have a kid on my team, and he'll like fuck around like in one of his math class or fucking his other his language arts class or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll just be like, I heard you were fucking around in class today. They're like, oh wait, no, and I'm like, all right, like we're practicing together today, and I'll just like
You get to throw his ass around and shit.
pound their
no.
faces and like I did it to, like both of our heavyweights this year, man. Like they're like,
Wrestling.
you know,
Wrestling was so. I'll tell you now. I might ever tell you the wrestling story. I made it through one day of a wrestling.
Yeah.
And I quit. One fucking
Same
day.
here.
So, like,
Same
we were
here.
like- We were like
Because-
this teacher was
Oh.
like this. I won't say his name. I almost said his name, slipped up, but she said, "Hey, so and so was being terrible. Do you want to talk to him?" And I said, "I won't talk to him. I'll put my hands on him in practice today." Though, and, like I just like,
That
It
was
up, man. It is-
that's like jujitsu too.
yeah, for sure, dude.
Jiu-jitsu's a lot like that because like
Right.
I
Cardio-
actually always liked to roll with people I didn't like. You know?
Well,
The
dude,
cardio was too
it's,
much for
um,
me. I couldn't handle the stamina build up that was needed
Oh,
for it.
dude,
Like,
I was a
it-
lot younger
like-
then. I haven't
like-
rolled in
like
years.
when I
Well,
played.
dude,
when I-
Nick,
it was
that's-
high
that's
school
like you can go any town and find a place to do jujitsu. Like for an
Yeah.
adult, and like literally at every level. Like you can go to like a serious place and like as
Yeah.
a fucking total noob go in there and be able to do something. Like there's no opportunity like that if you want to wrestle. Like it's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
what are you gonna
But
go to your
wrestling-
fucking local high
look,
school? you know?
just the warm ups for wrestling practice, I thought was insane.
Fucking burpees.
Just warming up, I
Mm-hmm.
thought it was nuts. This motherfucker, and he would have us doing the planking shit before planking was cool.
Mm.
was the thing, yeah.
Yeah. What was the thing? I was doing planks, and I'm like, I looked at him, I said, "What?" He goes, "You know how to plank?" I'm like, "No." So the coach gets down, he does his shit, he lifts his fucking body off the goddamn ground with just holding his hands up and shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Fuck." He's like, you never done this before? I said, "Yeah, I'm a football player, dude. We don't do that in football."
Yeah, man. Like that one day
Oh.
I got into wrestling fucking burpees and Hindu squats. Ugh.
My knees were killing me. My whole body hurt when I left that day. And I the next day I came, I walked in. I at least was respectful about it. I walked in, I told coach, I said, "It's not for me, man."
Ain't for me.
Oh, no. Dude, they kicked me out. I tried to DDT the kid
Oh, it was. I did. Yeah,
because I thought it was pro. I thought it was pro wrestling. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick walked in the room. He's like, "Where's the
They-
ropes, man?" What
they-
are you-"
yeah,
he
that's
had
what
me
I thought. I was
working-
like, there ain't no ropes here. How are we gonna learn how to bounce and shit?
he had me working with this big motherfucking kid, and this kid was just rolling me around like I was a fucking tire, dude. He was tearing me up, slammed me down and shit. I'm like, look, I said, man, fuck this. This is not happening. I'm out.
Believe it or not, I was like a beanpole till I was about 16, and
Oh,
that's when
really?
the weight
I was
started.
pretty.
Yeah.
I was pretty thin too. I was I think I was about 110 pounds when I went tried out for wrestling in my sophomore year.
Oh damn, dude!
I was really.
I was heavier than you at that age, dude.
Yeah, I wasn't. I was pretty.
Is it
really
20?
light.
I know it's an odd number. Is it 21 or 23?
It depends on what state.
Yeah, I was 121 or 123.
Well, yeah, for us it was I wrestled 119, 125, and then 130 my last 2 years. So it depends on where you are.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out, by the time I realized that there was actually weight classes, I'm like, why the fuck did he put me with this big motherfucker? I think it's because he had this big dude trying to teach me.
Well, yeah, the thing is, they try. Wrestling coaches don't have time, man, and they try to break you back then at least.
He probably was trying to chase my ass out of there, man. Yeah, because it worked, but.
And I basically got laughed out of the gym, after I fucking DDT'd the kid.
I was like fucking yoked back then, man. So I weighed more in high school than I do now. Like when I don't work out, the weight just falls off of me, man.
Yeah, I'm playing football. My coach was bitching at me about gaining weight. And I would try to gain weight. I would eat like crazy, but I burned it off so fast.
I graduated high school in 2008, and like we all like cut weight like fucking maniacs. They don't do any of that shit anymore. Even in like the short time from when I graduated to like when I started coaching, like it's completely different, man.
Yeah. I heard some crazy stories about wrestlers trying to make weight.
Dude, for football, we were weight restricted.
Really? We were? We weren't restricted for football. We were. It was mostly
because Massachusetts doesn't have a good high school football scene.
Okay.
And so at that time we were weight restricted. You couldn't be more than 250 and be on the line.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Jesus,
yeah, they you could only have like 300 pounder on your line. It was really weird.
Yeah, that is weird because I feel like the rules get like. Where it's like, so how you like, what can they only tackle a certain person on the other team? Like it's
we were most of it was a skill level for us. I mean, we had kids that were sophomores that were on our varsity team. In fact, most of our varsity team was a lot of younger kids because the last year I played football was my junior year at TC, and we got
West Springfield Bulldogs.
Our team we lost our first game of the year, and our whole team, almost our whole team, got into a fist fight with themselves, and they beat the fuck out of each other. And like they basically kicked like 3/4 of the team off the team, and then a bunch of them got suspended and stuff. So in order to put together a team, he raided the JV team and held another open tryout. So we had a bunch of spuds come in, and and we got our asses handed to us a lot. I mean, our defense thankfully was good, but we were terrible in offense, and it was just direct, man.
We went to this baseball game today, and this is the first time I've seen Cal like put an interest toward any sport. Like he was actually paying attention, trying to figure it out because he doesn't. I don't watch a lot of baseball, So like he had questions and shit, and they were actually intelligent questions. Like he was, you could tell he was paying attention and trying to learn.
That's cool.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's awesome, man. Shit.
And that's definitely one of those things where like it's like you can't get them interested in something. You know what I mean? Like you can take them there. But like, especially at that age, Nick, they want to figure shit out for themselves or like discover things on their own. So it's like you can't.
Dude, I tried to get my son interested in G.I. Joe, Transformers. He had his moment for Transformers. He didn't want nothing to do with G.I. Joe, and
that shit's fucking lame.
Yeah, right. Pretty much. He's like, man. He's like, those aren't real guns.
You get pissed off about the Target exclusives.
Yeah, he's like, you can't even find these things anywhere. And it's like summer of 2020.
Look at the fuck, man.
Funny, man.
Oh man.
He went through his moment with Transformers, but his Transformers, like his G1 was Armada and all that shit, right? And he kept saying, he's like, yeah, I want the big guy. I said, who's the big guy? He said, the big guy drizzling in the ball. I said, Unicron? He goes, is that his name? I said, you like this shit. You don't even know his name?
Dude, the only thing I enjoy about Armada, like I can watch the Starscream death scene
Yeah, that's
at
good.
at the end. That's good.
Well, he got out
But
like
dude,
a boss.
another thing, I'll get fucking stoned as shit. And there on YouTube, there's just this fucking like what do you call it? Like when they do a bunch of clips, like a montage of fucking tidal wave. Tidal wave. Tidal wave.
He sounds like goddamn Frankenstein.
He was a neat character because I just liked how colossal he was. Like he was just colossal, he's a colossal fucker, right? But then he can merge with Megatron, right? Which I was like, wait a minute, how the fuck is that?
My kid's an anime kid, so I might have to show him fucking Cybertron and all that shit.
Yeah, probably because it was some different.
I think he might like it.
Cool. It was some cool animation. I think it was, especially with all the flashes and shit and all the crazy. Remember they would join together and do all that shit. You know, those crazy scenes, man.
Power links.
I said, yeah.
And then they started calling out their attacks like fucking anime movies and shit.
Yes. Yeah. I was like, you're like, am I watching Dragon Ball Z? Or am I watching Transformers?
It's like the fucking mini-cons or Pokemon.
Yeah.
You know, fucking.
Yeah, the mini-cons were the only things in that show I kind of liked because not all of them though. I just like some of them. Like the one Starscream had. What was his name? Swindle. Yeah, he had Swindle. That's who he had. Was his mini-con name. They used and I liked him because him and Starscream were like tight, dude. Like when Starscream died, Swindle was like depressed, dude. He was sad as shit, you know. And I was like, oh, that poor little fucker. He was like his Starscream's little pet. Oh man.
Now my kid does like Beast Wars. He's let me buy him some Beast War figures.
Oh, does he like? Does he? Okay,
yeah.
All right. I mean, hey.
So I bought him like last Christmas. I bought him a whole shitload of mainline, all those Beast Wars shit. Like I bought him both Primals, both Megatrons. So he's got a good little decent collection of like the reissues of the past shit and the new shit.
I remember watching the first season of it, and that's all I got through. And I never watched any other seasons. And I liked it. But I couldn't get as excited for it as I hated the
CGI. I hated it.
It was weird, wasn't it? I don't know. Especially now, you look at what we have now compared to that, and that was supposed to be state of the art back then too. And I mean, it was just odd looking though. I don't know. It was just bizarre, man.
Like that's a good question. Like, okay, story wise, I think it's obvious that Beast Wars had a more coherent story from A to B, right?
Then,
But to me, the Beast Wars art style is more dated than G1.
Yeah, because it like you can watch G1 now, and yes, it's old animation. I get it, but you know it's old animation, and but it's still I can handle watching it.
Yeah,
like if I try to watch Beast Wars now. Because there's stuff that's so much more superior to it now that it would just I would get lost in it, you know.
Yeah.
And besides, my favorite Transformers anyway is Transformers Prime, so I don't even get.
Prime's really good, man.
Prime was awesome, and I
see.
I don't know. You Nick, when you say story from cohesive story,
yeah,
Transformers Prime didn't get crazy until until season 3. Then it got a little nuts with story, but it was still pretty good. You can still keep track of it, you know.
It was nuts, but I loved animated.
Animated was great too. I liked it. I liked animated. I
think that's my most slept upon Transformers series. I really enjoyed animated.
I think you're right.
I wish it had gone further.
I think it doesn't get the respect it deserves. That's what I'll say.
Right, definitely.
I feel like a part of that is there's just so much. There tends to be a new one like every 2 to 3 years. So I feel like when there's a good one, it gets kind of just washed out.
You know what's cool about animated, and they did the same thing with Transformers Prime too. I felt like we got characters in different roles. Like animated was really good about taking a character and they were good about this is they didn't just take the name and throw it on a character and say, oh, this is Cliff Jumper. He looks nothing like Cliff Jumper.
Yeah.
But they were good about you can identify that guy for the most part. But he wasn't necessarily. He might not be an Autobot. He might be
that was like
he might be
the trilogy, whatever you call that. The
Armada.
Yeah, I feel like they did that. They were just
that was my son's.
Here's like a character, and here's their name, and they're just gonna be what we make them, and it's just confusing to people.
Like I think that's a lot of what turned me off on like that trilogy too. Besides all the other problems with it, was like Cyclonus was like a psychopath fucking thing. And,
yeah. And remember that I feel like who was it? The guy? They had a character. Maybe it was Hot Rod. They called him Hot Rod. And I feel like he was kind of like the Bumblebee of the show. That's kind of how I felt.
Hot Shot.
That's who was Hot Shot. That's right.
It's like just call him Bumblebee, And
but and I'm like, why are we not? Because I'm like, that's Bumblebee, dude. Why are you not using Bumblebee?
Yeah. And now if you start a fucking Transformers series without Bumblebee, you're fucked.
Yeah, because Bumblebee's like the guy now, apparently. It's like, I mean, I was Optimus Prime was the guy, but I guess it's Bumblebee. You gotta have Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Weird.
Like, were you Bumblebee fans as kids?
So I
really wasn't, Nick. I really wasn't.
Yeah, and I've never watched like all of G1, but could Bumblebee not talk? Like, when did that become?
No, in G1 he definitely talked. Because he had Casey Kasem's voice, right? Or no, not Casey Kasem. It was the guy that did Spider-Man, the animated Spider-Man's voice. Did his voice.
Because I was wondering about that because I feel like they did that with the first Bay movie, and then didn't they do that in Prime too?
In Prime they did it too. Prime was sort of. I think they based a lot of Prime off of the Bay movies a little bit. I think they stole. They took some of that and mixed it in as far as their design elements and stuff. And
the score definitely.
Yeah, I mean, because you didn't hear Bumblebee talk until after, I thought
that they did that with their, and even the Bumblebee movie.
His name was Dan Gilvison.
That's him. I couldn't remember his name. He played he did Spider-Man's voice in one of the animated shows too, and
even that recent Bumblebee movie, which I thought was really good. Like he also couldn't talk in that, so I was like, "Is that just I don't know?" Because maybe it's one of those, I just don't know.
I think it started in the Transformers movie, the first Bay one. I think the first Bay one, and then it's just bled out into the rest of the fiction.
And I guess in the Bumblebee movie is when they show you how his voice got damaged, right?
Yeah.
But then that'll get.
I've only seen the first 12 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's probably what the only bit of the movie that's really good.
Dude, it's good. That movie is good though. I enjoyed it, man. The kids
I heard all the feedback from it, and I watched the animated opening, and I was like, okay, I've seen what I need to see.
Good.
I can enjoy.
You, man.
I enjoy this part. I don't want to ruin it with what could be coming next.
Yeah,
it had a lot of the issues with any of the Michael Bay ones. Well, I don't know. It actually had a lot of heart though, which was missing from any Michael Bay movie. In the weird, it was, I don't know, because you kind of compare them to the Bay movies, which has so much weird sexual stuff in them.
Yeah.
I
don't even know if I like watching them with my kids.
The Decepticons that you saw in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I liked.
Yeah, me too. And they were new and made up for no reason. Yeah, but it was good. I liked that movie for what it was.
They were okay. I mean, I liked watching Bumblebee. I
think that girl, the girl from Hawkeye, the one that played Kate Bishop. I think she's good in just about everything I've seen her in. So
she's not
bad.
She
did a good job in that.
It was, and like I said, I like. By the way, if I was gonna say, did you like it better than the Bay movies? I did like the Bumblebee movie better than the Bay movies. I did. So
miles above those movies.
I
can't sit through those. So I actually watched the first one a few nights ago, and I was like, "This is the first Transformers movie." Yeah, it's definitely a Michael Bay movie, but it's the best one of the bunch, I think.
I probably would feel the same way.
Yeah,
I thought it was the best one of them as well. I did. I was
I was willing to give it a chance until what they did to Grimlock.
Yeah.
Grimlock's my favorite.
Oh yeah, in the four. I've still never seen
fucking Optimus Prime riding him like a fucking
no,
like beating
no,
beating
hold
him
up.
and stuff. Like
Yeah, that's not what killed me. They had Prime beat him. Dude, he didn't beat him. He beat his fucking ass.
Yo.
And I'm like, wait a minute. No way. Grimlock will kill that motherfucker. Are you kidding me? No. You cannot have Prime beat. You cannot have him bitch Grimlock like that. No way.
And like
I was devastated.
even like going forward like in IDW and shit, they worfed the fuck out of Grimlock.
Oh.
And what I mean by that is in Star Trek, like it became a term called warfing.
yeah.
Whenever they had a new guy come in that they had to have be tough, they had him take down Worf.
That way that would certify him as tough.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
And they they did the same thing in fucking IDW.
If you were a tough guy, you had to show
you had to
toughness.
beat Grimlock.
You had to beat Grimlock. Yeah, which is dumb as shit though. Because first of all, it damages Grimlock. You can't have it. Imagine from a pro wrestling point of view. You've got this character that you built up as a badass, and then you have some scrub come along and beat his ass. It doesn't look good. Just so you can make the scrub look tough. Yeah. Come on, man. What are you doing?
Like, they started out really good in Megatron Origins. When Megatron was like, "Nah, I'm not fighting Grimlock."
Yeah, no, that's true. But that's different. Megatron at that point, though, Megatron was smart. Megatron was never gonna fuck around with someone. He knew could probably be. I mean, unless he had the upper hand, So at that point of that, Megatron had that intelligence to know better. I don't know. I agree with you on IDW, and I think about it. I just never thought about it before. I don't think
like
all
even before Overlord drove Fort Max nuts, he drove Grimlock nuts.
See.
In that fucking Garrus 9 or whatever, the fucking prison, and Last Stand of the Wreckers, like he supposedly broke Grimlock before he broke Fort Max,
which is just ridiculous, dude. I don't Grimlock, and maybe this is my G1 love talking, okay? Because let's put aside G1 Grimlock first of all. I mean, we begin because in the IDW, Grimlock's different than G1, okay, vastly, but. I would say this about G1. In season 3 of G1, Grimlock isn't nowhere near as dense as he is in season 1 and 2 of Transformers. You start to see Grimlock. Is he still a little Grimlock? Yeah, but he's still a little smarter. He's not as bad, And then even when he becomes super smart, that was kind of irritating too. But
even like in the Marvel comics, like he was a lot more respected. Like he became the leader of the fucking Autobots.
Yeah. But Grimlock was still nothing. Take away his intelligence, he was still vastly superior physically to a lot of the others. Like there ain't but a few I would say you could say legitly should be able to beat Grimlock's ass. Ain't but a few.
IDW had Shockwave punk all 5 Dinobots.
See, that's what I mean. That's garbage. Like I like Shockwave, and I respect Shockwave's abilities, but all 5 of are you kidding me? The 5 Dinobots can take down a combiner. How could you have Shockwave bitch them? You can't do that. Yeah. They're the Dinobots. They're the probably one of the best core units in Transformers.
The Dinobots when the Dinobots come in, they're the line that can't be crossed for the Autobots. Exactly. More than Superion, more than Omega.
Yes.
When the Dinobots show up, shit is supposed to go
shit's
down.
Getting real. Like how? Come on. Even the Decepticons, if they knew when the Dinobots showed up, they were like, "Uh-oh, on the go," because it was gonna be, Starscream would say, Megatron say, "Go deal with them." Starscream's like, "F you, you deal with them." Yeah. And that's true. That's for me. So you You can't build the characters up like that. And then in this fiction, we're just in this version of the fiction, we're just gonna tear him back down and make him everyone's bitch. Come on, man, that's terrible. One of the things I like about Prime
They did
is there is no
they did a
Grimlock.
little bit of
So-
that in Dreamwave too. Like, yeah,
But they do that. They've done it with a lot of characters in Transformers, though, where
yeah.
they would either OP the fuck out of them when they shouldn't be. Like, I feel like Bumblebee has been made to be way more of a badass than Bumblebee should be.
Oh, especially in IDW, like he became leader of the Autobots.
Yeah, he's not. You know, Bumblebee was the little spy guy who would get his ass whipped by
Yeah.
almost everybody.
Dumb.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I just didn't. It's hard for me to see it in
I
movies.
I did like when he was haunting Starscream.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was in like when they started combining wars and shit in
Yeah.
the comics. The
Yeah.
fucking Bumblebee was haunting Starscream
Yeah.
and shit.
And that was kind of fun because I liked the whole idea of because remember when Starscream was a ghost. It was kind of fun to see Starscream get haunted rather than doing the haunting. But it's funny you say that. I wasn't a big fan of IDW Dinobots either, mainly because of I felt like they disrespected the Dinobots in IDW way too much. It was just annoying, there was a lot of times when I just felt like, come on, man, you cannot have them get bitched by this guy. It just can't happen. I don't think I ever read that one, Nick. Did you talk about when you said Shockwave? I never read. I don't think I read
Maximum Dinobots, I believe.
Really? I have to go look.
Yeah. It might have been that, or that might have been the one where they went after Shockwave for revenge.
Shockwave, and like I said, I have full respect for Shockwave. I thought Shockwave was a badass. I always liked watching him put somebody in their place, because someone would disrespect them and he would just put them in their place. And I tell you, and in Transformers Prime, Shockwave is fucking badass.
Yeah, he was cool, man. He was cool,
Prime.
man.
Yeah, he was pretty cool, but I still would say, no matter how much you can't have him lose to the Dinobots. I haven't beat the Dinobots. I mean, you can't have him. You can't even have him be one member of the Dinobots. In my opinion, you can't have him be one Dinobot 101. No. No,
there's definitely a Dinobot he could beat.
Ooh, Swoop.
Swoop.
Okay,
wings
I'll give you Swoop. I'll give you
Swoop.
Swoop. I'll give you
Snarl.
Swoop. Oh, Snarl.
Take...
I don't think you take Snarl. Snarl's badass, dude. Snarl fucking hit him with them.
But fucking Sludge, Grimlock, and Slag.
No chance. No chance, man. I just, I can't. And that's just with me. I do get frustrated sometimes because I feel like content creators, when they take something on and they're doing their version of it, I do feel like sometimes they don't respect what has been done before it. Not everyone, but some do, and some do that. And I
complain. Yeah, I complain about that in like multiple forms of fiction because, especially like Marvel or DC or something, these characters have so much history and so much depth.
Yes,
that like these writers need to understand that they're caretakers of these characters and their legacies.
Exactly. So
like when you have Batman basically saying he goes out trying to get himself killed every night, that's like what the fuck.
That's interesting because we brought that up in the chat.
Yeah,
it was a good little back and forth a few nights ago, kind of talking about like DC, kind of like where they are right now, and I think that's what kind of like led into this. But I was kind of I've always been critical of the Joker movie, and I think and people are like, well, like I thought Joaquin was great, the director was great. I agree with all that shit. I think the score, like the music choice, score, acting, cinematography, direction, but it's like it just didn't do, or just like.
Now, what was he addicted to in that movie?
So with that, I was talking about the Brian Azzarello book, the Joker one, which people love, and it did some interesting things. But like
two people there can be wrong.
Yeah. but like that was just like kind of what you said of like being characters. These characters like maybe that works for some people. Like it does like both of those things. The Joaquin Phoenix Joker and the Brian Azzarello Joker book, which I'd still recommend anyone to read. It's a quick little 4-issue trade. Both of those things missed like how I understand the Joker to be. So it's like they're good, they're gritty, they're this and that, but it's like if you miss this thing, then all the other things kind of just wash over me, and like it's harder to I can still like separate them and say, yeah, like performances are good, story's good, direction's great, whatever. And I'm not bashing that movie. I just think they just missed this one mark.
I can understand that.
Yeah, I can.
I think my thing about that movie is that they took what to me is one of the core concepts of the Joker and stretched it out. And that's the concept that the Joker has always said. The difference between him and Batman is one bad day.
True.
Well, they stretched it out to about a week.
Yeah, about a week, a bad week.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And well, not just that, but also I feel like he was, I don't know. There's a lot of ways to take that version of the Joker in that movie, because I feel like was he always the Joker, and his meds were keeping him like not being himself, or
I kind of felt that too.
I
like,
did too.
Because like as he's off the drugs, and
like kind of unraveling.
Yeah, everything becomes more surreal in the movie. Also,
yes,
like the lighting.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about with the directing and the cinematography. Like that's not accidental. You know.
Sure. Also, doesn't it seem like he starts getting more clarity, by the way, when he gets off the drug?
To him.
That's
like his mom, and he starts learning truths about things, and you know, it's coming, you know. So I don't know. There's
just so much for me to like about that movie, because it makes so many different statements, like about like our crumbling mental health system.
Yeah, and like that's what I was gonna say. Like, I think that's it's a really great piece of like social commentary too.
It is
just about that, and like how we kind of deal with it. And it was like, because him throughout the movie, he's just kind of like just passed off from person to person, because like nobody wants to like really like deal with them.
Right? Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes is when he kills that fucker who got him in trouble in the first goddamn place with the gun and shit, right?
Yeah, in his apartment.
And the I'm not gonna say the word. The little person.
Thank you.
That was there. Freaks the hell out, and he's like,
I don't want nothing to do with you. Like, I don't want to fuck with you, man.
And the funniest part is when he's also good. You can go, and he can't reach the chain.
See, like, even with them calling Joaquin's character the Joker, I think that he's gonna be like the catalyst for a real Joker.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the DC's like the series or not, but they laid the groundwork with the 3 Jokers.
Yeah,
agreed.
And Jeff Johns been laying down shit about that throughout the DC shit for a long time.
Well, you guys want to talk about that kind of like real quick towards the end here about just like the DC, because I know like last week we talked about SDCC and we really only talked about Marvel, which I'd like to get back to, because I think there's there's a lot of shit to say there, but just like the kind of fucking nothing that DC the SDCC, like we got another little Shazam or Black Adam trailer. We got
Shazam 2,
which I think looks good. Yeah. But like, so what confuses me, but then we got nothing from Flash, nothing from Aquaman 2, which I think both of those, I know Flash is done filming. Aquaman 2 is
supposed to be in post-production right now.
Yeah. To get nothing.
Well, that's one thing that Momoa let slip this week.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck will be in Aquaman 2.
So that's what confused me, because they made a somebody from DC, I can't recall who, made a statement saying like, we're not continuing with any of these like Snyderverse characters or anything. And it's like, okay, so Aquaman 2's in the can, so yeah, that's gonna come up. But then like, why put Batman in that? Why in the Shazam 2 trailer make references to Ben Affleck's Batman, Ezra Miller's Flash, and
Momoa's Aquaman?
And Momoa's Aquaman, like,
Yeah.
What are they doing? And it's like I can see them wanting to move on, and it's like,
and they were very careful not to show Ezra Miller's face.
Yeah, I wonder if they did that just to see how like
interesting.
audiences reacted to it. To be like, what are we? Because like, what the fuck are they?
And by the way, did anyone else notice too that I didn't see the trailer for any animated movie coming out either.
They've dropped that Green Lantern thing. They dropped another trailer for.
Okay. I didn't see
and
it.
they announced the next one, and I can't remember what it is.
Okay, I wonder. I didn't know there was gonna be another Batman animated movie coming out or not. That's why. That's my favorite stuff, man. So.
Yeah, but it's like if that's the end of it, why put Ben Affleck in Aquaman? Like
maybe because maybe they feel like they need to give that character a fucking good outro.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's like I saw the pictures. Jason
Momoa. That fucking movie that Robert Pattinson was in was originally supposed to be
Ben Affleck's Batman, and then we got what we got, and I fucking love that movie.
Yeah, absolutely,
I adore that movie. But the Ben Affleck one was like that.
He says there's an animated Arkham movie coming.
Oh, is there? Okay, I didn't know. Thank you, E.
Dude, like, and with the animated shit, don't even show me a trailer. Just let me know when it comes on, and I'll watch it, and it's probably going to be really good. You know what I mean?
You're
like,
right. I don't need it. I don't need.
Yeah, I'll just.
I don't need one, point. But I just like to see the trailer just to get myself a little more excited. Anyway,
that original Batman standalone movie was going to be like him and Deathstroke, and they set up at the end of Justice League or the Snyder Cut, I guess. But like. That that was really interesting to me, and I was excited to see that. And then we didn't get it, and I love what we got. You know, I'm grateful for that. But yeah, I feel like they are just rudderless at this point.
Let's say this and do the opposite.
Exactly, man.
Yeah.
That's fucking great, dude.
And then they're trying to do a running reboot with the Justice Society.
Yeah, which
and like I like those characters in a lot of things. I prefer them to characters in the Justice League.
See that though is a period piece.
They did that in the animated. Yeah. I didn't like that movie that much.
No, the movie was bad. That movie was bad, and I just gave DC Animated their flowers a minute ago, but that movie was bad. Do that, but just make it good. You know what I mean? Like I like that idea and that concept. And it's I don't know.
Did they say that they weren't going to do another Aquaman movie after this? Is this they're not going to be a third Aquaman movie either, right?
Dude, we'll find out.
Yeah,
I guess
we'll find out because if that fucker pops $1 billion again,
I'll say DC doesn't know. So
Aquaman was probably their surprise hit. I don't think they expected that movie to do what it did, and I
enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Me too.
But like,
I really thought it was gonna be shit. But
with Black Adam, like Nick, does he match like from the trailers? We don't have much. We got a couple trailers. It's like, does he match how you view him, like from any book that you've ever read that had him in it?
They're going. Okay, my opinion from what I've seen so far is they're playing to the Rock's fucking strengths, and the Rock's strengths as an actor is being quiet, looking imposing, and fucking being physical, and that's what they're doing.
Because it's like
he can say, "Do you smell what the Rock is?"
Like the Black Adam that like I just from I don't know if I've ever read a book that featured him too much, but like he was a motherfucker, man. Like He was like a killer.
There is a book that was published by DC less than 20 years, less than probably 15 years ago, where Black Adam was a cannibal.
Yeah.
Oh, I never read that. That's what I
never read that either, and I know that until this moment. But like that,
Yeah, I didn't read
That's
very
just
much of it.
how I view that character, and it's like
Yeah.
this. And this might just be like my ignorance about Black Adam, but like I
Me
just
too.
don't. I don't know.
I what I remember of him was he was a quite a villainous fucker.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah, just
That's
like
what I
just like
know. of him, you
a
know?
menace. You know,
Yeah.
it's good. Like he's
And
a
like-
villain, right?
And the reason why he joined the fucking JSA was so that Shazam could keep an eye on him. Like it was
Yeah.
like a Suicide Squad kind of thing.
So they had him join up just so Shazam can make sure he didn't fucking kill anybody. You know?
Yeah.
That's insane,
But, like,
dude.
Did you read Identity Crisis, Sam?
Yeah, I have it here.
Okay.
I never read Identity Crisis. What's that? What's
13 years ago. That was Brian. What was the dude's name? He was like a fucking nerd that wrote that.
Yeah. He
Brad
did that.
Brad Meltzer.
Brad Meltzer. He did that shit on the History Channel. That's
Yeah,
what I was-
Decoded. That show was goofy, dude. But
There's a lot of problems with Identity Crisis, obviously.
yeah, for sure. And I think
You
that's
know,
why Brad
and-
Meltzer jumped in and
Yeah. But the one thing in that book, when they go to fight Deathstroke, they talk about the different teams.
Mhm.
And they're like the Titans show you family. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
They said the Justice Society gives you the pageantry, and the Justice League is where you go to learn to fight.
Interesting.
Mhm.
And that's always stuck with me because Jeff Johns' run on JSA is probably one of the least heralded best comic runs in the past 30 years.
Hmm.
That entire run is solid.
Mhm.
Like they introduce Sandy. Wesley Dodds is Sanderson Hawkins, who is the Sandman's fucking sidekick, and he becomes the Sandman in the modern era, and
Yeah.
so it's all about like it's all about legacy and like continuing on even though these characters are old. Justice Society is a beautiful book. Of course it gets rough towards the end, and especially when Jeff Johns comes off the book. But
Yeah, he's done some really good stuff.
yeah.
What he did with Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm. Rebirth, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just so odd, like with because he's like kind of running the movie stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that works with them being bought by Discovery.
And well, not only that, but with him running that like being in charge or whatever of that movie division, his name has come under fire too.
Yeah.
He's been mentioned by name by Ray Fisher.
Yeah, and I almost feel like even to me, and it's like with what Ray Fisher said, it really is still to this day a thing where like you're only hearing his side, so you have to take it with a grain of salt. I know it's easy now to be like, oh, he's claiming.
Well, he's been backed up by the cast.
Yeah,
with all the accusations he's made towards Whedon. That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
And I think they did make a specific thing to say like, we don't want like an angry like black guy.
Yeah,
at the center of this movie, which is kind of, and he was like the heart of the Snyder cut, right?
Yeah,
and it's like when you say something like that, that's racist because you're mentioning his race. They didn't say we don't want an angry. They didn't say we don't want an angry guy. They said they it felt important to them to say, an
angry black guy. So by trying to pander to what they think people feel is right, they misstepped.
Yeah,
it sort of sucks sometimes how that happens.
But and then it's like his name I think definitely is tarnished. Like I don't know if he's writing stuff anymore or like if he's probably just been busier. But
I mean, he did 2 really big books in the past few years. He did Doomsday Clock.
Yeah,
and he did 3 Jokers. And he's some kind of creative director still.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, just I mean, like the I feel like Aquaman 2 isn't such a mess, but the only thing that's just confusing about it is like that's a like a quote Snyderverse property still.
And
don't worry about
there's
that.
the Amber Heard issue.
There is the
Yeah.
Amber Heard issue. There's a lot of
And
people
Even if
that
she's
dude.
even I've heard her part has been cut down to 8 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I heard that, but then I heard they came out and said no, that's not the case.
Yeah.
That it's not being that they. So I don't know who to believe. You know, I don't
well,
know.
the director of Warner Brothers, when he testified at the trial, says that she was almost removed at the end of Aquaman 1 because she had no chemistry with Momoa.
Let's see, I did hear that, and I did hear about that.
That was testified to under oath at the
and I
trial.
think it's like do a recast, man. Like
that's exactly what I'm saying, Sam. You got when I heard that, Nick, my first thought was, then why the fuck is she in the second movie then?
Yeah, exactly. Why do you even begin it with her unless she signed on to like a 3-movie deal or something? Which which would be Justice League, Aquaman 1 and 2. You know?
Okay, but just because she signed on for a 3-movie deal doesn't mean
they could pay out.
They could put her in any movie they want to use her in.
Yeah,
whenever they want, unless there's a time frame on it, and there may be, but it doesn't have to be this movie. They can pick up do something else with her. I don't.
It's odd how you've seen actors and actresses who a few years ago kind of like were maybe a little bit more turned off by the superhero thing because they're like, I don't want to be wrapped up in this shit for the next 13 years. I feel like there's been a shift and there's been less of a reluctance to attach yourself to that thing because it's like, fuck, dude, if you're Amber Heard and they want you to do Justice League and be this character, like you're guaranteed money for the next 13 years.
Not to mention,
however that plays out. And
for some actors like her, this is a big role for her. It's a huge role.
That's like her breakout type thing. And same thing like Chris Hemsworth, like who the fuck is he without Marvel? Like
And like the thing to me about her is that I know they have a fucking morals contract.
Sure they do.
They have a morals clause in the fucking contract. She was just found to have, in a civil court to have maliciously lied about another actor that Warner Brothers fired from a franchise.
Yeah, which is pretty fucked up, That's also damaging to them.
Yeah,
because they kind of get rid
that's the thing where it's like from Warner Brothers, you could just be like, well, these two are both clowns, and we're done with both of them. You can't, it's difficult to pick one over the other, but
I've heard they're trying to get him to
disregarding what we think,
and I think that brings us to a topic that we had in the chat, and I think we can hit that and then go home. We were talking. I had posted it in there about. Like there's these rumored contracts for the X-Men fucking actors.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And
wow.
And I'm sorry, but there's no way any studio doesn't have a fucking way to fire whatever actor they want for whatever reason they want.
Yeah, that story seems odd to me. Odd, and then also that it made sense because I could see us going through, we got that shit from Phase 6, 3 movies so far, Fantastic Four, and then those 2 Avengers movies. I could see us going through all of that without touching X-Men at all, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with them taking their time with it, in which case, was it 2025 was what that article stated was like the expiration date?
Yeah.
Which then in that case you could just say, okay, cool, let it run through.
It's too much to me a theory that's been constructed to fit facts that don't have anything to do with the theory.
Well, like a narrative.
Right, a narrative,
yeah.
Because as soon as they didn't announce, they went into 2025 and they didn't announce X-Men, people were scrambling for a reason why.
I was thinking about that like a year ago, of like, why haven't they done it? And like kind of thinking like they might go a long time without it, which, like I said, I'm fine with.
Maybe they want to introduce them very subtly. You know.
Yeah.
Well, so I mean, they did Miss Marvel.
And that's they apparently they introduced mutants in that. I haven't watched it yet. I need to
Yeah,
watch
like,
that.
apparently, like, it was
Really.
spoiler alert for the show that's been out for a month and a half, but like, she's a mutant. Is basically
That's what so they basically are making Miss Marvel a mutant.
Yeah, and it's like you do her. Hopefully,
Right.
they make a point of stating that Namor is a mutant. And
Yeah.
and that's like one of the things with that. If they don't do that, I'm gonna be bummed out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's a huge miss.
Well, yeah, because
of like him being like the first one. You could say he's got longevity or whatever in his life, and in this and that and third. But I'd like the idea of just kind of keep peppering them throughout, and then you know, hit it, build up to it. Basically, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Build up.
I feel like
you know, Deadpool can be what he is, and
I feel like you can get away with though, just kind of saying, "Hey, they've been here. You just were on the DL." You know? I mean, because there are a lot of people with superpowers, even in the Avengers world, that we learned we're not known right away. Yeah.
If there were like, if there was a Genosha or a Krakoa of like this place where they've been living and thriving, maybe in secret and kind of under the radar.
Sure. Well, that's what they did in the comics with Krakoa. Krakoa is the mutants version of Wakanda.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like they're like own place. It's like
you know, Nick, I've heard people say of that run, you can't reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Which is fucking dumb, because you can take a wheel that's used to push a cart and make a motorcycle go. Like, you can't reinvent it. You can use it for different purposes.
Yeah. I think you can do whatever you want with it.
And I think that's going to turn a lot of people off stupidly if it's like not, I don't know, maybe what they envision. I love that shit. Those 11, 12 issues that we got. From Hickman there. I thought that was fantastic.
I don't know. I just don't want them to introduce mutants in a way where it's like, the government's known about them forever or some dumb shit like that.
So I feel like if you do kind of work backwards with Krakoa, if you can say like maybe somebody like made their, you got flash flooding or something, Nick.
No, fucking Amber Alerts.
Oh, great.
Oh, no kidding.
Like you could work backwards, like from Krakoa. Maybe for whatever reason they make their presence known, and then Russ, now they're on the government's radar, and then you get people being like, there's mutants throughout. We need to find them. We need to register them. We need to make sure that they're not a threat. And which again, you get into that social commentary.
Well, like what started what was in Civil War? Remember what started Civil War?
But then it's like you get people being like, well, this, you know, not familiar with that story. Saying, hey, it doesn't, because Nick said it, I think rightly, like that was a mutant Wakanda because they had power. They weren't at the behest of anybody. They had their own motives,
and they don't have to hide from anybody. They
didn't
can
have to
be
hide
themselves, right?
You know, people who were enemies at one point were now working together to you know, for a shared and common goal, and that's just powerful, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I have no idea what direction you're going to take it. I just hope they are careful with it. That's all I'm saying.
Me too.
Me too. And
I'm just trying to stay open minded.
And I'd like to know who I want to know who the new Wolverine's going to be. That's all soon.
Dude, I'll play him, man. Give me like a 6 week steroid cycle.
I'm still sticking with Daniel Radcliffe. I'm gonna go with Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Do it, man. I think
now another part to this was also people are dredging up an old article that says George Lucas is getting control back of Star Wars.
Impossible.
I'm sure there's a lot of guys.
They're saying that
they're really excited about that.
But yeah, it was a huge uproar right around the same time as the X-Men thing. And I saw a lot of people reporting that and the X-Men contracts as fact when we don't have any of this information. The sources on it are not good. I think it was We Got This Covered.
It's like Mike Zero all again.
I believe it was We Got This Covered and Movie Web.
Oh
yeah, both scummy in their
they're about one step below Mike Zero, maybe, or maybe above. I don't know.
Gosh, man, those two. they're like everything that frustrates me about. So I can obviously, like, you know, and any of us who are like the least bit savvy can like read their headlines and be like, yeah, okay, this is silly, and here's why.
Yeah.
But I just like, it frustrates me when like I know like people who I work with, for example, that are like in the end of the MCU that are sharing this stuff that I'm like, oh, it's not real, and here's why. You know,
part of it though is if you want it to be real, you're gonna want it. You're gonna perceive it as legit.
Well, yeah, and it's like,
That's
here's
what it
a
is.
good example.
There's
Something
even-
like a place like, just real quick, like a place like Movie Web does. You know, let's say, you know, Emily Blunt. People want her to be Miss the Invisible Woman, right?
Yeah.
Their headline will be, "See Emily Blunt as Invisible Woman." So people are gonna think, oh, these are set photos, these are you know, like concept art and this and that, but it's just like some dude photoshopped something on posted it on their Instagram, and then like this news outlet is sharing it as if it's
like it's legit.
Yeah, like based on the headline. It's clickbait, you know, classic clickbait.
And I hate when they do the trailers like that, because I got fooled like a week or like last week was SDCC.
Yeah.
I got fooled SDCC week when we were in the hangout. I was looking through for a what if trailer because I thought one had dropped.
All right.
And there was one that had a bunch of old footage in it, and I guess a rotoscoped 3 Spider-Men, and I fell for that shit.
Yeah, and it's like you get like 2.5 minutes into the 3-minute trailer, and
in
like,
your defense,
all used footage, you know.
But in your defense on that, though, we had a hell of a lot of trailers dropping that weekend, so it almost was impossible to know what was. And those trailers were being shared all over the place.
I got bit that night before we went live because they put out an Ant-Man poster, and I was like, somebody posted in this group that I'm in, and they're like, "Oh, new Ant-Man poster," and it had Kang in the corner of it, you know, Ant-Man and his girl and his kid. And I said, and I was like, "Hey, dude, that's fake, man. Like, I know there's a lot of shit going around." And he's like, "No, it's legit. They just shared it." And I was like, "Well, it's SDCC weekend. This dude probably doesn't know any better." And it was legit. And it's the worst fucking poster I've ever seen in my life, dude. Like, it is. It's like, you know, fucking back to school folder level of art. Like it's awful. It's awful. And I was like, just looking at it, I was like, yeah, this is fake. This is not real. But it's like, that's like the one they're going with. Like, it's insane. I'll try to find it, and I'll throw it up in the group or whatever. But oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
Trash.
You guys ready to go home?
I'm ready.
Sure, man.
Yeah, man. All right, guys. Thank you guys as always for hanging out in the chat and talking with us. There's a hangout link in both the family chat and E's chat. So everybody get in that hangout, come say hi. As I say every other week, peace, love, and hair grease. We're out. Take care, y'all.
Later.